Welcome to this video about senior health. This video will talk about top 4 essential antioxidants for diabetes to stabilize blood sugar and A1C naturally. Have you ever done everything right and still watched your blood sugar spike anyway? You eat carefully, you read labels, you cut back on sugar, and yet your A1C barely moves, your energy fades faster each year, and something inside you feels off. If that sounds familiar, you are not failing. Your body is fighting a battle you were never told about. Here is the urgent truth most people never hear. Diabetes is not just a blood sugar problem. Long before numbers rise on a lab report, a silent process called oxidative stress begins attacking your cells. It damages nerves before you feel tingling. It stiffens blood vessels before chest pain appears. It weakens kidneys before tests turn abnormal. This damage happens quietly, daily, and relentlessly, even in people who believe they are eating healthy. By the time symptoms appear, years of hidden injury have already occurred. This is why so many Americans feel confused and discouraged. Doctors focus on glucose numbers, but the real destruction is happening deeper inside the cells that control insulin response, energy production, and organ repair. When oxidative stress stays unchecked, blood sugar becomes harder to control, A1C refuses to drop, and complications creep closer no matter how disciplined you are. But here is where the story changes. There is a way to interrupt this damage before it becomes permanent. There are specific antioxidants that work at the cellular level to calm oxidative stress, stabilize post-meal spikes, and restore how your body responds to insulin. These are not trendy supplements or miracle cures. They are evidence-backed tools that quietly protect the heart, nerves, kidneys, and brain while helping blood sugar move in the right direction. In this video, you will discover the 4 essential antioxidants that target the real problem behind diabetes, how they work together, and how to use them safely and effectively. If you care about your future health, your independence, and your quality of life, this is information you cannot afford to miss. Number 1, the real problem behind diabetes. Most people believe diabetes is about food choices, willpower, or bad habits. You are told to cut sugar, watch carbs, and move more. Yet many Americans do all of that and still watch their blood sugar climb. This is where confusion begins because the real problem behind diabetes is not happening on your plate. It is happening inside your cells. At the center of this issue is oxidative stress, a silent process that slowly damages the body long before symptoms appear. Every time blood sugar rises even slightly, unstable molecules called free radicals are released. These molecules attack insulin receptors, damage blood vessels, irritate nerves, and weaken the kidneys. You do not feel this damage at first, which is why diabetes can seem controlled while the body is quietly deteriorating. This explains a frustrating pattern many people experience. You eat what feels like a healthy meal, maybe grilled chicken, vegetables, or whole grains, yet your glucose still spikes. The problem is not the food alone. Oxidative stress blocks insulin from working efficiently, so glucose stays trapped in the bloodstream instead of moving into muscles where it belongs. Over time, this raises A1C, drains energy, and accelerates complications. Science has confirmed this connection repeatedly. Studies show that people with diabetes carry significantly higher oxidative stress levels than those without it. This stress is strongly linked to nerve pain, kidney leakage, arterial stiffness, and declining circulation. In other words, high blood sugar is not just a number. It is a signal that cellular damage is underway. Many people notice the warning signs but dismiss them. You might feel unusually tired after meals. You may notice slower healing, tingling in the feet, or mental fog that seems to come and go. These are not random symptoms. They are early messages from cells under oxidative attack. The most dangerous part is that standard advice rarely addresses this layer of damage. Lowering glucose helps, but it does not fully stop the oxidative chain reaction already in motion. Without targeting oxidative stress directly, diabetes continues to progress quietly beneath the surface. This is why understanding the real problem behind diabetes changes everything. Once you see that blood sugar is only the surface issue, a new path opens. And this is where the right antioxidants become critical because they work where the damage actually begins. Number 2, vitamin C. Once you understand that oxidative stress is the real engine driving diabetes forward, the next question becomes obvious. What actually stops that damage where it starts? This is where vitamin C quietly changes the entire conversation. Most people think of vitamin C as a cold remedy or an immune booster. That belief dangerously underestimates its role in blood sugar control. Inside a diabetic body, vitamin C acts like a cellular repair signal. When blood sugar rises, oxidative stress surges, and insulin receptors become distorted. Vitamin C neutralizes those free radicals before they can damage insulin signaling, allowing glucose to move into muscles instead of lingering in the bloodstream. Without enough vitamin C, cells struggle to recognize insulin and blood sugar stays elevated even after reasonable meals. This deficiency often shows up in subtle ways. You may feel tired after eating. Your skin looks dull. Small cuts heal slowly. Gums bleed more easily. These are not cosmetic issues. They are signs that collagen nerves and blood vessels are under oxidative attack. Over time, this damage weakens capillaries in the eyes, irritates nerves in the feet, and increases protein leakage in the kidneys. Research consistently shows that people with diabetes have lower vitamin C levels than healthy individuals. Clinical studies demonstrate that restoring vitamin C can reduce insulin resistance by about 25% and improve insulin sensitivity by more than 30%. This shift allows glucose to enter cells, smoothly lowering fasting blood sugar and reducing post-meal spikes. Over months, A1C levels can drop by half to 1 full percentage point, a meaningful change that protects long-term health. Vitamin C also strengthens blood vessels from the inside. It supports nitric oxide production, improves endothelial flexibility, and reduces arterial stiffness. This protects the heart while improving circulation to nerves and kidneys. In the nervous system, vitamin C calms oxidative irritation that fuels tingling and burning sensations. In the kidneys, it shields delicate filtration units from sugar-driven damage. The most powerful part is how accessible this solution is. Foods like red bell peppers, strawberries, broccoli, oranges, and kale deliver strong vitamin C support when eaten raw or lightly cooked. Supplements such as buffered or liposomal vitamin C provide reliable daily coverage for people who need more consistent intake. But this is only the first layer of defense. Vitamin C opens the door to cellular repair, yet it cannot work alone because there is another antioxidant that stabilizes blood sugar in a completely different way, and that is where the story goes next. Number 3, Eriocitrin. Once vitamin C begins calming oxidative stress inside the cells, many people expect blood sugar control to suddenly feel effortless. But for a large number of Americans, post-meal spikes still appear almost unpredictably. This is where a lesser-known citrus antioxidant called Eriocitrin becomes critical because it targets a different and often ignored weakness in diabetes control. Eriocitrin comes primarily from citrus peel, especially lemon and lime. Most people never consume it intentionally, yet it plays a powerful role in metabolic balance. Inside the body, Eriocitrin works like a stabilizer. It slows the rapid absorption of carbohydrates, prevents sudden glucose surges, and supports insulin signaling when cells are already under stress. Without it, even modest meals can trigger sharp spikes that exhaust the pancreas and strain blood vessels. When Eriocitrin levels are low, the damage builds quietly. Blood sugar swings become more extreme. Inflammation inside the arteries increases. The liver starts storing more fat, which further worsens insulin resistance. You may feel heavy after eating sluggish for hours, or notice that energy crashes come faster than they used to. These are not normal aging symptoms. They are signs that metabolic buffering is failing. Scientific studies highlight why this matters. Research shows that Eriocitrin can reduce insulin resistance by nearly 30%, while improving insulin sensitivity by more than 30%. This dual effect allows glucose to move into muscle cells instead of remaining trapped in the bloodstream. As a result, fasting glucose drops, post-meal spikes become smaller, and A1C levels decline by up to 1 full percentage point over time. Eriocitrin also protects blood vessels directly. It increases nitric oxide availability, improves arterial flexibility, and reduces inflammatory stress on the endothelial lining. This means smoother blood flow, lower cardiovascular strain, and better circulation to nerves and kidneys. In the nervous system, Eriocitrin reduces oxidative irritation that contributes to burning and tingling. In the kidneys, it helps preserve delicate filtration structures that diabetes slowly erodes. What makes this antioxidant especially appealing is how accessible it is. Lemon peel, lime peel, and citrus bioflavonoid extracts provide meaningful support when used consistently. Standardized supplements offer reliable dosing for people who need daily metabolic stability without extreme dietary changes. Yet even with vitamin C and Eriocitrin working together, some glucose spikes still slip through, especially after carbohydrate-heavy meals. Because there is another antioxidant that acts deeper directly on insulin, signaling itself, and that is where the next layer of protection comes in. Number 4, EGCG. Even with vitamin C repairing cellular damage and Eriocitrin smoothing post-meal spikes, many people still feel something is missing. Blood sugar improves, but energy remains inconsistent. Mental clarity fades, and certain meals still trigger unpredictable rises. This is where EGCG steps in, because it works deeper than most antioxidants directly inside the metabolic command centers that regulate insulin and glucose use. EGCG is the primary active compound found in green tea and matcha. Many Americans drink tea casually, but few realize EGCG functions as a metabolic regulator, not just an antioxidant. Inside the body, EGCG communicates directly with insulin signaling pathways. It activates GLUT4 transporters, the gateways that allow glucose to move from the blood into muscle cells. Without proper GLUT4 activity, sugar remains trapped in circulation, fueling inflammation and fatigue. When EGCG is lacking, the damage is subtle but powerful. You may feel sharp energy crashes after meals. Brain fog becomes more frequent. Fat begins accumulating in the liver, even when calorie intake seems reasonable. This happens because the liver starts producing extra glucose on its own, a process called gluconeogenesis, which silently pushes blood sugar higher between meals and overnight. Research reveals why EGCG changes this pattern. Studies show EGCG can reduce insulin resistance by more than 30% and improve insulin sensitivity by up to 40%. It also lowers fasting blood glucose by nearly 20% and reduces post-meal spikes by more than 20%. Over time, this translates into A1C reductions, approaching 1 full percentage point, especially in people who struggle with stubborn glucose levels despite lifestyle changes. What makes EGCG unique is its liver-focused action. It suppresses excess glucose production in the liver while encouraging fat burning through increased thermogenesis. This not only stabilizes blood sugar, but restores metabolic rhythm, helping energy levels feel more consistent throughout the day. EGCG also slows carbohydrate digestion by inhibiting digestive enzymes, creating a natural buffer against sudden glucose surges. The nervous system benefits as well. EGCG crosses the blood-brain barrier, reducing oxidative stress in neurons and calming inflammation linked to cognitive decline. Many people notice sharper focus and fewer neuropathic sensations when EGCG levels are adequate. Blood vessels respond positively too, with improved nitric oxide production and better microcirculation in extremities. Matcha green tea, white tea, and oolong tea provide natural sources when brewed gently. Supplements offer consistent dosing for those who need precision. But even EGCG is not the final piece, because there is one more nutrient that strengthens the entire antioxidant network from within, and that is where the story continues. Number 5, selenium. After EGCG restores metabolic rhythm and improves how insulin signals inside the body, many people finally feel steadier. Blood sugar swings calm down. Energy becomes more predictable. But long-term protection still depends on one missing layer. This is where selenium becomes essential, because it strengthens the entire antioxidant defense system that diabetes quietly wears down over time. Selenium works differently from the antioxidants you have already heard about. Instead of acting alone, it activates powerful enzymes inside your cells, especially glutathione peroxidase. These enzymes neutralize oxidative damage at a deeper level, protecting DNA, mitochondria, nerves, and blood vessels from sugar-driven stress. When selenium is low, these protective systems slow down, leaving cells exposed, even when glucose numbers look acceptable. The damage from selenium deficiency often hides in plain sight. You may notice muscle weakness, slower recovery, or unexplained fatigue. Small wounds take longer to heal. Tingling in the hands or feet becomes more frequent. These signs reflect weakened antioxidant enzymes, not just poor blood sugar control. Inside the kidneys, filtration units become more vulnerable. Inside artery stiffness begins to increase without obvious warning. Research explains why this matters so much. Studies show that adequate selenium intake can reduce insulin resistance by nearly 30% and improve insulin sensitivity by more than 30%. Fasting blood glucose often drops by 15% or more, while post-meal spikes decrease significantly. Over time, A1C levels fall by about half to 1 full percentage point, adding real protection against long-term complications. Selenium also offers unique cardiovascular support. It improves nitric oxide availability, helping arteries remain flexible under constant glucose stress. This protects microcirculation, especially in the extremities, where diabetic damage often appears first. In nerves, selenium-driven enzymes support repair and reduce oxidative irritation that contributes to burning and numbness. In the kidneys, selenium lowers oxidative pressure inside filtration structures, reducing protein leakage and preserving function. Another overlooked benefit is selenium's role in thyroid hormone metabolism. Balanced thyroid activity supports stable blood sugar and energy, creating a quieter metabolic environment where insulin can work more efficiently. This is why people often report better stamina and mental clarity once selenium levels are restored. Brazil nuts, sunflower seeds, eggs, tuna, and whole grains provide dietary selenium when used in moderation. Supplements like selenium yeast or selenomethionine offer precise daily support when food intake is inconsistent. But knowing which antioxidants to use is only half the equation, because how you combine and use them safely determines whether they help or quietly cause harm, and that is the next critical step. Number 6, how to use them safely. By now you have seen how each antioxidant plays a distinct role. Vitamin C repairs cellular damage, Eriocitrin stabilizes post-meal spikes, EGCG restores insulin signaling, and selenium strengthens enzyme defense. The mistake many people make is using these tools randomly. Safety and timing determine whether these nutrients protect you or quietly backfire. Start with the principle most people overlook. More is not better. Consistency is. Antioxidants work best when blood levels stay steady. Large occasional doses create spikes that the body struggles to manage, especially in people with diabetes. This can lead to stomach upset, headaches, or stress on the kidneys and liver. The goal is daily support, not dramatic intervention. Timing matters just as much. Morning intake with food is ideal for most antioxidants. This aligns with natural metabolic activity and helps control daytime glucose fluctuations. A smaller afternoon dose can help prevent evening rises, especially after carbohydrate-heavy meals. Late-night dosing often disrupts sleep or digestion and offers little benefit. Combination is another critical factor. These nutrients are designed to work together. Vitamin C enhances antioxidant recycling. Selenium activates enzyme systems that keep other antioxidants functional. EGCG influences insulin signaling, while Eriocitrin buffers absorption. Using one without the others can leave gaps in protection, like repairing one wall while leaving another exposed. Safety also depends on knowing your body. People with kidney disease, thyroid disorders, liver conditions, or medication sensitivities must start low and increase slowly. Certain supplements can interact with medications or overload systems already under strain. Listening to early signals like nausea, fatigue, or digestive discomfort prevents long-term issues. Food should always come first when possible. Whole foods provide supportive compounds that supplements cannot fully replace. Supplements exist to fill gaps, not to override nutrition. When supplements are needed, standardized forms with clear dosing offer the most reliable support. Perhaps the most important rule is patience. Antioxidants do not work overnight. Cellular repair takes weeks, not days. Early improvements often appear as steadier energy, fewer crashes, or improved digestion before numbers change. Over time, fasting glucose stabilizes, post-meal spikes shrink, and A1C follows. Many people quit too early because they expect instant results. But the real benefit is cumulative protection, quietly reducing damage day after day. Used correctly, these antioxidants create a stable internal environment where insulin can finally do its job. But knowing how to use them safely is still not the final step. Because there is one mindset shift that determines whether these changes truly last, and that is where everything comes together next. Number 7, the takeaway. At this point, the picture becomes clear. Diabetes is not simply about avoiding sugar or chasing numbers on a chart. It is about protecting your cells before damage becomes permanent. Blood sugar spikes are symptoms, not the root cause. Oxidative stress is the silent force that weakens insulin signaling, stiffens blood vessels, irritates nerves, and slowly wears down the kidneys. Once you understand this, the fear begins to lift because the problem finally makes sense. What truly changes outcomes is not doing one thing perfectly, but doing the right things consistently. Vitamin C calms oxidative chaos and repairs fragile tissues. Eriocitrin smooths post-meal spikes and protects the vascular lining. EGCG restores insulin signaling and metabolic rhythm. Selenium strengthens the enzyme systems that keep all other antioxidants working. Together, they form a layered defense that addresses diabetes at its core, not just its surface. This approach explains why so many people feel stuck despite following traditional advice. You can eat well, exercise, and still struggle if cellular protection is missing. When oxidative stress stays high, insulin cannot work the way it was designed to. When stress is reduced, glucose control often improves naturally without extreme restriction or constant frustration. Real change often starts quietly. People notice steadier energy, fewer crashes after meals, clearer thinking, better circulation in hands and feet. These are signs that cells are finally getting the support they need. Over time, lab numbers follow because the body's no longer fighting from a damaged foundation. The most important takeaway is empowerment. Your body's not broken, it has been overwhelmed. When you supply the right tools, it remembers how to regulate itself. This is not about replacing medical care. It is about strengthening the internal environment so treatments and lifestyle choices actually work. Consistency beats intensity. Patience beats panic. Small daily decisions compound into long-term protection. The goal is not perfection, but resilience. A body that can handle meals, stress, and time without quietly falling apart. Many people reach this realization later than they wish. They look back and think they ignored the early signs. Fatigue, tingling, fog. But awareness always starts in the present moment. The moment you understand what is really happening inside your body, the future becomes more flexible than it once seemed. But knowing this truth is only powerful if you act on it, because understanding opens the door, and what you choose to do next decides how the story continues. As you reach the end of this video, take a moment to breathe and reflect. Nothing you learned today is about fear. It is about awareness and choice. Diabetes does not appear overnight, and healing does not happen overnight either. But the good news is this: you can start changing the direction today. Small steps taken consistently can protect your heart, your nerves, your kidneys, and your independence as you age. The key takeaway is simple. Blood sugar control is not just about what you avoid, it is about what you support. When you calm oxidative stress and nourish your cells with the right nutrients, your body becomes more stable, more resilient, and more capable of healing. Vitamin C, Eriocitrin, EGCG, and Selenium are not magic cures. They are safe evidence-based tools that help your body do what it was designed to do. Regulate glucose, repair damage, protect vital organs. If you are over 50, your body deserves a gentler, smarter approach. Extreme diets and constant restriction often do more harm than good. Instead, focus on balance. Choose whole foods. Use supplements wisely. Pay attention to how your body responds. And most importantly, be patient with yourself. Progress often shows up first as better energy, clearer thinking, and fewer crashes before it ever shows up on a lab report. You are not alone in this journey. Millions of older adults are learning that it is never too late to support their health. Your past choices do not define your future. What matters is what you do next starting today with the knowledge you now have. If this video helped you understand your health more clearly, please save it so you can return to it later and share it with someone you care about. Subscribe to the channel to receive the latest research-based nutrition insights, safe supplement guidance, and practical health tips designed especially for seniors. In the next video, we will explore new foods that quietly improve blood sugar and protect aging organs. Foods most people overlook every day. Your health matters, your time matters, and the steps you take today can make tomorrow stronger, calmer, and healthier than you imagined.